I have another big lead story, and this one comes from Kapil Sharma's newly opened cafe in Surrey in Canada, which has just seen a big attack by Khalistani terrorists. That's right, a terror attack on a cafe recently opened by one of India's biggest stars in the comic scene and in showbiz, Kapil Sharma himself. Khalistani bullets you can see being fired live at Kapil's cafe. It's called Kap Cafe. Earlier, remember, there have been attacks on people like Gippy Grewal and AP Dillon, celebrities being targeted in the crosshairs of Khalistani terrorists abroad appears to be something very, very real. I want to play out some of these images for you first, and then we will go to our reporter. This is called Kap Cafe, opened recently by Kapil Sharma in Surrey in Canada. Harjeet Ladi, who's a Khalistani terrorist, has claimed credit for this particular attack, and we'll get into those details in just a moment. But first, just watch this video. Mukesh Singh Sengar, NDTV's crime editor, who broke this story earlier today, is with me live. Mukesh, इस वीडियो में साफ दिखाई दे रहा है कि कोई गोली चला रहा है कैप्स कैफे पर. ये कौन है, ये जो हरजीत लडी जो क्रेडिट क्लेम किया है, बैकग्राउंड क्या है इस हमले पर?
देखिए, घटना लास्ट नाइट की है जब दो लोग आते हैं और कैप्स कैफे पर लगातार फायरिंग करते हैं. फायरिंग का वीडियो भी शूट करते हैं और कुछ ही देर बाद जो हरजीत सिंह लड्डी, जो बब्बर खालसा इंटरनेशनल का आतंकवादी है, वो एक सोशल मीडिया पोस्ट करता है और इस पूरे हमले की जिम्मेदारी लेता है और साथ में ये वीडियो भी रिलीज करता है जिसमें दो लोग फायरिंग करते हुए दिखाई दे रहे हैं. लगातार एक के बाद एक कई राउंड फायरिंग होती है जिसकी आवाजें भी इस वीडियो में साफ तौर पर सुनाई दे रही हैं. कपिल शर्मा ने अभी 2 दिन पहले ही ये जो अपना कैफे है खोला है और काफी एक बड़ा फंक्शन किया था इस कैफे को खोलने के दौरान. और कपिल शर्मा का ये पहला अंतर्राष्ट्रीय प्रोजेक्ट है जो उन्होंने देश के बाहर एक कैफे खोला है. अब हरजीत सिंह लड्डी ने जो अपना सोशल मीडिया पोस्ट किया है उसमें उसने ये कहा कि जो कपिल शर्मा ने निहंग सिखों को लेकर कोई स्टेटमेंट दिया था, उस स्टेटमेंट से वो नाराज था और इसीलिए उसने कपिल शर्मा के कैफे में फायरिंग करवाई है. हरजीत सिंह लड्डी बब्बर खालसा इंटरनेशनल का एक बड़ा आतंकवादी है जो कि लंबे समय से कनाडा में है और वहां पर बैठकर लगातार भारत विरोधी गतिविधियों को अंजाम दे रहा है. वो पाकिस्तान में खालिस्तानी आतंकवादी हरविंदर सिंह रिंदा के साथ मिलकर लगातार पंजाब और देश के दूसरे राज्यों में आतंकवादी गतिविधियों को अंजाम देता आया है. टारगेट किलिंग के अलावा जो बड़े आतंकवादी हमले हुए हैं उसमें उसका हाथ रहा है और एनआईए ने उस पर 10 लाख रुपए का इनाम रखा हुआ है. मोस्ट वांटेड की लिस्ट में वो शामिल है. जी
मुकेश, 2 छोटे क्लैरिफिकेशंस. कपिल शर्मा इस वक्त कहां पर हैं और ये जो हमला हुआ है हरजीत सिंह लडी के गनमैन से, क्या ये बस एक डराने के लिए एक एक्शन था या जेन्युइनली कुछ असैसिनेशन टाइप का कंस्पिरेसी है?
देखिए, कपिल शर्मा भी कहाँ है ये साफ नहीं हो सका है. कपिल शर्मा की तरफ से कोई स्टेटमेंट भी अभी तक नहीं आया है. क्या उन्होंने पुलिस में कोई कंप्लेंट किया है, इसको लेकर कोई जानकारी नहीं है. लेकिन कनाडा पुलिस इस पूरे मामले की जांच कर रही है. अब तक कोई गिरफ्तार इस पूरे मामले में नहीं हुआ है और ये भी हम जानते हैं कि कनाडा में किस तरह से जो खालिस्तानी टेररिस्ट हैं उन पर सरकार का हाथ रहा है. खुलेआम वो फायरिंग करते हैं, तो ये एक वैसा ही मामला है. अभी तक की जो जांच हुई है उसके मुताबिक ये जो फायरिंग हुई है ये केवल डराने के मकसद से हुई है, क्योंकि जहां पर फायरिंग हो रही है सामने कोई खड़ा नहीं है, केवल कपिल शर्मा का जो कैफे है उसके ऊपर फायरिंग की जा रही है. तो एक तरह से डराने और धमकाने के मकसद से फायरिंग हुई है. और हरजीत सिंह लड्डी ने अपने स्टेटमेंट में कहा है कि कपिल शर्मा ने निहंग सिखों को लेकर जो स्टेटमेंट दिया था उसको लेकर उनके अंदर नाराजगी है. जी
Mukesh Sengar, thank you very much. धन्यवाद उन डिटेल्स के लिए मुकेश, and he will continue to track that story. No statement out just yet from Kapil Sharma or his team, but Kap's Cafe was opened only very, very recently in Surrey in Canada. It's owned by Kapil Sharma, and I want to put the sound up on that video once again to show you how real that video is. It's a video obviously taken by the terrorists themselves. Harjeet Ladi's terror group has taken credit for it, and they've posted this video out. And the only reason we're showing it to you now is it's become the subject matter of an investigation. Just listen to this video. And I want to bring in another voice that is widely respected on issues of India, Canada, on Khalistan, on the terrorism that breeds on Canadian soil as well. My friend Kushal Mehra, he's a YouTuber. He's also a businessman who spends half the year or more in Canada and is kept very, very close to all of these affairs concerning Khalistani terrorism. Kushal, welcome. Thank you for being with me here on India Matters. Your first reactions, your first opening words on this troubling video, Kushal, of, it's a first-person perspective video that you've just seen of someone firing multiple rounds with a pistol at Kap Cafe owned by Kapil Sharma. Someone called Harjeet Ladi, who's a wanted terrorist, has taken credit and posted this video. Kushal.
Good evening, Shiv, and good evening to everyone who's watching this. I'm not surprised, to be very honest. We've been following this beat of extortion calls, especially since the last 3 years. It has actually alarmingly increased. And I'm not saying that the Khalistani angle is not legitimate, so I want to give that caveat. But I think this extortion racket has now become a larger problem. We've had previous extortion calls and murders in Mississauga. That's a city in Ontario. We've had that in Brampton. We've had that in Surrey. Just previously, there were shootings done at another gentleman's house who is... I think his name was Mr. Sharma, if I remember correctly. And this is in the line of multiple extortion calls that have been happening. Peel Police, this would be the police of one of the areas in Ontario, has had major breakthroughs in this, but it's very slow. It's actually, as a kid who was born and raised in Mumbai, it reminds me of the 80s Mumbai. I don't know if you remember this, Shiv.
Yeah.
Growing up, the Mumbai stories of, extortion calls being made and this extortion is all done inside our own community. It's not like these gangsters are calling, some random businessmen of another race. They know what they're doing. They study the businesses. They target the businessmen who are within our community, and it's a type of businessman they target. They don't target a tech businessman or something like that. There is a kind of business that they are targeting.
Images you have on your screen and these graphics also show you that this gun attack on Kap Cafe in Surrey in Canada is most definitely not a one-off, whether it is Gippy Garewal, whether it is AP Dhillon, whether it is other celebrities who've received threat calls. These are just 3 in the last few weeks where actual attacks have taken place. Shots actually fired. Kushal, we lost you there for a moment. Continue your point.
Yeah, my point was that there is a kind of business that these people target.
Yeah.
It's a pattern. It's usually logistics, restaurants, insurance, and those kinds of things. And there's a long history for this, because since the 1980s, the Khalistan movement has kind of, everything needs funding, and we have to look at Khalistan movement not as a separatist movement. It has to be looked at as a gang-related network.
Yeah.
Which, is involved in human trafficking, drug smuggling, and these things need certain types of businesses.
Correct.
To flush the money and rotate the black money, convert it into white money. And unfortunately, a lot of people, innocent people, are getting caught in the crossfire of this. And my biggest problem is that the Canadian authorities and the authorities in India are not doing enough to nab this, because this is not going to affect
even under Kushal, even under the new Prime Minister, post Trudeau, nothing happening still?
No, it's actually the arrests have only started happening under the new Prime Minister, which is why it's going to take a little bit of while. But my problem is that because these folks had such a free run under Justin Trudeau, that the brazenness has increased. Shiv, we would not hear these things 5-7 years ago in Canada. I mean, I don't know how else to say this. We just did not hear these things. Like open extortion calls being made to people inside the, South Asian, Indian, Pakistani community, whatever you want to call. This was not the news over here. But now it's so open and so brazen. This is actually getting worrying. And I'm as an Indo-Canadian, I'm very worried. I live here, I live in India, in both countries, but I just don't see enough happening at the rate at which we want it to happen.
Last question, and very quickly, Kushal. We heard our crime reporter and others talk about how it may have been a comment by Kapil Sharma about Nihang Sikhs, which has triggered this attack. But you're saying your sense is this is about extortion, plain and simple.
Yeah, see, they always try to make this about hurt sentiments, but the reality is it's now a proper business, Shiv. It's no longer about a religious struggle or a struggle for a free homeland. Because, see, a struggle for a free homeland would have, would have only sustained if they had takers in India. These people don't have any takers in Punjab. So now what they do is they need to run this business. So they run their business through these kinds of things, and the Khalistan bit is just a veneer on the top, to be very honest. Everybody knows that. I would urge all of you to go and check a Canadian journalist, Sameer Kaushal's interview with a former Khalistani, Jaspal Atwal, where he openly talks about these things. The interview is in Punjabi, but I'm sure we can use, translations and subtitles to understand it, in which Jaspal himself narrates how he was doing it, what the current lot is doing. He openly talks about Gurpatwant Singh Pannu, and this is an entire model now. It's a business model. So I hope we realize that we need to call it what it is. It's a gang infestation.
And I'm glad I had you on the show, because you've called it out, and we will continue to track it. Thanks very much for putting that into perspective for me, Kushal. Good to have you to get that kind of clarity on this developing story that has just broken here on NDTV.